Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Mile High Game Guys board gaming podcast. I'm your host Adrian.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Jeff.
And joining us this week in the studio here is Andrew.
Hey everybody.
Welcome back, Andrew. It's been a little while since we had you on the show.
It's been too long.
Yeah.
The hater for everyone that remembers that from 150 episodes ago.
Somebody had recently, I was talking to somebody about the show, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm catching up on like way back episodes and stuff. And they're like, the hater trolling you is one of the funniest things I've ever heard on a podcast ever. It's like, nice.
You're welcome.
So,
are you going to pay me for that content?
No.
We barely get paid for that content.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, we don't get paid.
That is
the
true.
show kind of gets paid in that it gets new stuff.
Yes.
We occasionally get
Convention tickets.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And leftover board games from reviews.
Yes.
And the convention tickets are just a press application that is only backed up by this existing.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's a weird cycle.
You got into this entirely for the review games anyway. So
All those
it's
free hot games,
Yeah.
especially all of the people that want us to look at their games.
Yeah, all of them.
Get a lot of those.
Yeah.
They're never anything good.
Gee, I wonder why.
I wasn't going to say that because those people
any-
clearly listen to our show.
I don't think some of them do.
That's very true.
Also, your sponsors give you games.
Yes.
So, not everybody that gives you games gives you crap games.
Oh, no. The games we actually get are good because we say, well, usually we say yes to the games. Like we seek
they
out
ask
good
you.
games.
They
Yeah.
ask you first before sending you
Oh,
games?
yeah.
Okay.
We get like weird, like, we'd like you to demo our Kickstarter. And then we look it up and it's like nothing we've ever heard of. There's been a couple that are clearly people
Unsolicited.
that we know and that listen to us. There's somebody I actually need to respond
Z-Man's
to.
never going to be like, hey, we'd like you to look at this.
Someday, Zach.
Right now.
Someday. Maybe in year 5.
Yeah. Okay.
Believe it or not, we turned down CMON. They were like, hey, we would like you to be the debut stream for Zombicide 2. And we were like, you know what? I just don't think it's going to work.
It's too much pressure.
We
Yeah.
just can't
not
give
your
it.
style.
We
No.
just can't give it the glory it really needs.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Right.
because Adrian had a demand. He was just like, you got to make Chad Kroger a stretch goal on it. And they're like, no, we can't do it. And it just, that's where we drew the line.
Yeah.
No Chad, no Zombicide 2.0 on this show.
Well, it's good you have principles.
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
I'm shocked that he's not a character in Zombicide already.
Right? Fucking Donald Trump's
Yeah.
a character in Zombicide now.
Is that from a Kickstarter?
From the
or-
new one, I
Yeah,
think.
that was one of their most recent stretch goals right before they funded was to make Donald Trump with a golden AK-47.
Is there a Zombicide Kickstarter going on right now?
It
It
wrapped
just
up
finished.
like 2 weeks ago.
The 2.0, remember?
we talked
covered
about
that
it.
so long ago.
I know. They
was like a
run-
month,
It
I
ran
guess.
for like a 30-day campaign, and we covered it like the day, like the week it launched.
Yeah, I guess I was
Not the
thinking of
day,
that that time machine, like clear out our warehouse Kickstarter.
Oh,
they
that was the
did.
one before that.
Yeah.
That was some bullshit
Yep.
too. But anyhow,
Did you mention our sponsors at the
I
beginning?
did not
Okay.
because we got caught up in Andrew not being here for and the things that go along with
Okay.
that. But this is one of our Wednesday banter episodes, and as such, it is sponsored by our sponsors, Gray Fox Games. They continue to support us, which we appreciate. So
They're good people.
yeah.
I met them at Geekway. And
Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah. So let's dive right in. We got a big show for you here with Andrew in the
Yeah.
house. He's here with a special segment,
yeah.
non-history related, shockingly enough.
Well, a couple of questions might touch on history, but
Well, so now people know there will be questions. I was
Questions.
being intentionally
question
vague,
time.
but
Yes.
Yeah.
And no hating either. No hating,
Wow.
no history.
Except your answers.
Yeah.
I'm sure there will be plenty of hating.
Well, now
throughout
they'll
the
know
episode.
that there are questions and answers.
Oh, shit.
Man, everybody knows what's going on now.
Is there points too? Are they made up?
Well, they don't matter, that's for sure.
But yeah, so let's dive into things here. I think for all of us, it's been a pretty uneventful week, so we
Yeah.
don't have anything non-gaming stuff.
It's been warm.
It's
Yeah.
been like 70 degrees.
It's gonna snow tonight.
I know. It's all over the place.
Yep.
Andrew, have you gotten up to anything super interesting since we last had you on the show? Maybe something recently? Maybe some international travel?
What could you possibly be referring to my very nice Norwegian sweater that I'm wearing that I bought in Norway a couple weeks ago?
Oh, it even says Norway on it.
It's
Well-
even got a little Norwegian flag on.
Does
the,
not say Norway.
yeah.
But
It
via
does, right there. It says Dale, Norway.
Okay.
Yes.
I just thought you were pointing at the flag and be like, look, it says Norway.
The flag, Norway is written on the
That's flag language for Norway.
This is
Semaphore. You knew that, right? You're in the
No,
Navy.
no, I did not know that.
They do that a lot on submarines, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we open the hatch underwater, signal at passing subs. It works great. Let me
They just
tell
let
you.
the divers go out and do it.
Yeah.
That's how they tell the squids to get out of the way.
Yeah.
Fuck the whales.
Yeah.
No,
The whales are just going to get hit.
Yeah. I mean, that's what whales get for being in the ocean
Yeah.
when we're in it too.
Yeah. The gall.
America. Fuck yeah. So Norway.
So Norway, yeah, I went on a week and a half trip with my wife to Bergen, Norway, and one of her good friends from college just moved there for the next 3 years, so
Nice.
we got a free place to stay, so it made the trip worthwhile.
So how much? How much does it cost to actually fly there? Because I found out recently that I was just looking and I saw that you could fly to Iceland from Denver less than $500 round trip, and I was like, oh. Well, that might have to happen at some point.
It's a little bit more expensive.
I
Plus,
figured.
like a week and a half trip, we needed to do a checked bag, so it wound up being $1,500 for 2 people,
Okay,
which is
that's not bad.
yeah, no, I have some thoughts about Norwegian Air now. It is not as nice as I thought it was going to be, but I paid $1,500 to get there and back with my wife, so I got what I paid for.
No Lufthansa.
No, they're German. They probably do go to Norway, but not nearly as cheap. Oh,
yeah, but I meant they're no Lufthansa.
Oh, yeah,
because Lufthansa is fucking great.
Primo, yes. KLM's pretty good too, the Dutch airline. But
Haven't been on KLM.
I mean, obviously it's no Ryanair, right?
Yeah. Norwegian is better than Ryanair. It's better than Frontier.
Okay.
But it's just the rank above them.
Right.
Gotcha.
So,
but no, it was good. I liked it a lot. We did a couple fjord trips.
I saw pictures. They're awesome.
Yeah.
Fjords are great.
Yeah. One of the fjords we were staying on is the biggest fjord in the world. It's 1,000 meters deep, or like a little over 1,000 meters deep, which is almost as far down below the water as Denver is in elevation.
Wow.
Yeah. And you can see the other side. So this is super deep canyon.
Oh wow.
We did a lot, all of the museums in Bergen. We were there for a week, and so we were able to hit literally everything.
What is this green?
Thing? That is just the gazebo in the Central Park. City Park, B-Parken. This is City Park. The Briggen, do you have any pictures of the Briggen on your phone?
What is the Briggen?
The Briggen it's a series of buildings. The original ones date back to the 1100s, but they're the port buildings set up by the Hanseatic League. Those versions go back to the 1600s after a fire. Yeah. And they're all kind of leaning now, which they didn't used to be before World War.
I can see that in the picture.
Yeah. There was a munitions ship in the harbor when the Germans were occupying Norway during World War II that blew up on Hitler's birthday. And
happy birthday, Hitler!
Yeah, and it was big enough that it all of those buildings are still leaning because of it. And Bergen is surrounded by mountains, and they found at the top of one of those mountains, at the top of a mountain called Fløyen, the anchor for the ship.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's how big this explosion is. But yeah, it was, it's really cool. It has the history of the Hanseatic League, which was trading empire sort of, merchant empire. So they weren't actually part of any one country, although they were mostly in northern Germany, but they controlled all of the trade around there. So they had a lot of influence over the kings and the politics of the area. So yeah, it was really cool.
Is there an aquarium?
There is an aquarium.
Okay.
We did not actually. We walked past the aquarium, but that was one of the things. One of that in the science center, and the sort of generic kind of stuff.
Stuffed polar bears and such.
Yeah. It's cool, but I can go to an aquarium.
See fish here.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
I can see a sea lion jump through a hoop anywhere I want. Damn it. But yes, the Google Map search of that town's pictures look very nice.
Yeah.
I did pull it up on the stream, so people on the stream can
see the
actually
Briggen.
see
Gotcha.
at least the cool building things. They remind me a lot of the little hotel things in the area.
Fløyen?
Yeah, that's the name of the mountain. there's also a mountain called Ulriken.
Yep.
That we went up the funicular for Florian and went up and down the cable car on Ulriken and got some great views of the city.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Did you go to the Bergenhus Fortress?
Yes.
That's cool.
The Hakon's Hall within the fortress is available, and that like to look around, and it's just like your classic medieval giant like feast hall, and it looks exactly like it looks
Very
exactly
colorful.
like you would imagine.
The oldie feasting hall.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
Cool.
Nice.
Well, glad you got to have an awesome trip.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Right on. With that, a little short update for the guest on the show. Let's move over to some games because we played a fair amount of games.
Speaking of World War II.
Speaking of World War II.
I saw Jojo Rabbit yesterday.
Yeah.
Have we all seen it?
I have not.
You have not seen it. It is very good.
Have you not seen it either?
I've not seen it either.
I would highly
I don't
recommend.
go to movies very much.
Yeah, you definitely should see it. It's really good.
I thought it was going to be a very different type of movie. I was expecting Moonlight Kingdom, but with...
It's got that sort of aesthetic, right? It
Yeah,
certainly looks
but
like
that's only the trailer.
Yeah,
and that's
okay.
the first 10, 15 minutes of the movie. The rest of the movie is very different.
Yeah.
Okay. I've heard that there is a big turn in the movie.
Yes. And it is very, very, very good.
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
I highly recommend Jojo Rabbit.
Maybe I'll try and take Megan.
Taika
Taika
Waititi
Yep.
as the imaginary friend Hitler
Yeah.
is hilarious.
Oh, he's great in that.
I mean, he's
Oh.
great in everything.
Yeah.
but-
Yeah.
Also true. Yes.
But it's so it's not anachronistic. The opposite of that, like he's more modern than he should be.
Yeah. No, that's anachronistic.
Is that
yeah,
anachronistic?
that's
It's out of
outside
time.
of yeah,
Out of time.
Outside of its proper time.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
all of this is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody should do a compilation of like funny Hitlers in media.
In
like,
the pre-show,
did.
Oh, yeah?
is
Yes.
that like
Yes.
making fun of Hitler throughout the ages?
Yes.
So
yeah,
the producers is such a fantastic like slump. Like I don't even know how to describe the like weird Hitler in the producers, but
Yeah, that's a great movie.
It's fantastic.
I really want to see that actually as a play as well.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But you should see Jojo Rabbit before it goes out of theaters.
Cool.
Yep.
It's good.
Right. Thus ends
Yes.
the non-board game related banter.
You know, we always have one more, Adrian. That's how
There's
it works.
always one more.
But wait, there's more.
Yep.
But let's dive into some what we've been playing. So here on the show, we've been playing a couple things. The three of us all sat down on Friday for our Friday stream, and we played Irish Gauge with meanest guy on Slack himself, Mike Jones.
Yep.
He proceeded to live up to the name by being very mean and beating us on our own stream.
By a lot.
rude.
By a lot, very handily.
Mostly because Adrian didn't know what he should have done
Yes.
in that moment.
There was a
As you had the most money.
Correct.
And did not stop him, and none of us had the chance.
Yes.
Correct. Well, I mean, Zach could have given me a second chance to stop him. But
You
he-
needed to take your own chance
Yeah.
to do it because
It would have been my action to only do that solely so you could get something.
The entire theme of that game was me saying, I've made a mistake.
Yes.
So Irish Gauge, if no one knows, Capstone.
Capstone Games.
Capstone Games.
It's an older game, but Capstone
Winsome.
just recently reprinted it. It's a Winsome game designed by Tom Russell.
Mhm.
And really simple. You're building track across Ireland in the form of little trains. And so on your turn, you can buy stock in one of the available trains.
And there's 5 different companies.
Auction for stock.
Auction for stock. Yeah, you can put a stock up for auction.
There you go.
You can spend 3 points worth of actions to build track. And so like building on regular land is 1 point, building on difficult terrain is 2, building in occupied areas is 1.5. So you spend your 3 however you can. You can do dividends. So you draw some blind cubes out of a bag, and any cities that have trains touching those cubes pay out. And so everybody gets paid out based on their stocks that they have in the different trains. And sometimes the cubes come out, 2 black and a white, 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 when Zach's main railroad is all on pink.
And the pink doesn't come out till literally the last dividend.
And it's 3 pink.
Yeah. Fucking God damn it.
And then the last thing you can do is you can develop the cities on the board by taking a cube out of the bag and putting it on the board. So if your train is only on pink, you could pull a black cube out, and now your train is on pink and black, so it's more likely to pay out during dividends.
But if you don't put anything there, it's just worth $2.
Yeah.
Instead of being worth $4.
Correct.
Less money, but it always pays out.
Yes.
Yes. So it was a really fun game. It's definitely one of those games where very simple core mechanics, but
I mean, hell, the rule book is literally a double-sided piece of paper, and that's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is the case for pretty much all of the Winsomes. The Winsomes are all really rules light, but a lot of depth in the gameplay and a lot of, and I think that that's one of those games that is, if you play a lot with the same people, there gets to be like all kinds of a meta that happens, and then like you find different, deeper ways to play the game. It's great. So I really enjoyed it. I want to play it some more. Yeah. So that was one of the streams we did, and then that was our Friday stream. On Monday, I did a 2-player stream of Havre with Captain America himself, Chris Evans, and he beat me also handily. So
and he had never played before, right?
I taught him at game night the week before, or the Wednesday before. So I taught him the shortened version at game night just to get the core mechanics, and then he came over, we played a full game. He apparently spent like most of the evening before reading a bunch of strategy. He brought me some nice laminated sheets, and he had a print off of all of the buildings in the base game and what their costs were, and then like spreadsheeted out so you could see like over the course of the game, if you bought everything, how much you'd spend in each different resource. So he was like, oh, based on this, I can see that wood and clay are both very valuable, so I should base most of my strategy around acquiring wood and clay, which is correct.
Yes. No, I mean, because you beat him handily during the intro game that you taught him, and so he was just like, never again.
No.
Correct.
Unacceptable.
Yeah.
I went for a similar strategy, and the first half of the games played out fairly similar. I made bigger mistakes in the full game because there's a lot bigger mistakes to be made in a full game, but ultimately the strategy, he was going a very building heavy route, and I was going very ship heavy. And in the beginner game, when he hadn't really played before, he didn't keep up with food and ended up being kind of in trouble. Like, he managed to not ever take loans in the base game or in the beginner game, but I went very ship heavy, and in the beginner game, he was able to kind of keep up with food, but he had to focus all on food, and it held him back. In the full game, when you need to have even more food, he ended up at one point, he had like 15 loans. He had a stupid amount of loans. But then he was able to get a few ships and then start shipping and pay off those loans and then still beat me.
Yeah, loans aren't as bad in this one as they are in some of his other games.
No, and in fact, Sid was sitting in on the chat, and he was like, yeah, in a 2-player game of this, if you're not taking loans, you're actually not playing effectively because of how friendly loans are relative to some Uwe Rosenberg games.
So were you taking loans?
I also took several loans, yes. Right. But I really enjoyed it. It was nice to get back into it. And it gave me some insight into, things I could do in the future to play better, assuming that I play it again soon enough to remember those things. So,
gotcha.
But yeah, those were the 2 streams we did on the show. Outside of the streams, I also got to play Northern Pacific, which is another Winsome game. It took about 15 minutes. It's an even simpler Winsome. You have 2 decisions. You can advance the train. So the train starts out east in like somewhere like near Chicago or something, and then you're going to Seattle across the Northern Pacific rail line. And
are all Winsome games about trains, or
most of them?
Okay, all right.
And the thing is the map's pre-printed, and there's different cities, and it can go different ways. Like you can snake it in different routes. And so you can take one of the just general supply of trains and advance it along the way it's going. Or you start with some cubes, and those represent your like investments. And so you can invest in a city anywhere along the way. If the train comes to your city, then you get your cube from the city back, as well as one more from the supply. And then at the end of the game, whoever has the most cubes in their personal supply is the winner. So, and then like cities are limited depending on the number of players. We were playing a 6-player game, and so each city could only have 4 cubes in it. And so they're limited like that. But because like it's a game of very much of shared incentives. So like if you and somebody else gets in on a city, the 2 of you are very incentivized to make the train go to that city. Whereas everybody else is very incentivized to make the train go anywhere but that city. And so it gets some really interesting like push-pull kind of things going on about where people are trying to make the train go. And so it ends up doing weird zigzaggy things. Somebody tries to push it north and somebody tries to push it back south. That was a lot of fun. I tied for 3rd. There's a tie for 1st, and then tie for 3rd, and then 4th, 5th were the scores. So 1 and 2 were tied for 1st. 3 and 4 were tied for 3rd. and then 5, 6.
Okay, I thought you said 4, 5, 6.
I think I did say 4, 5. But anyway, yeah, so that was a lot of fun. And then we played the main game for that evening. We ended up, a 7th person showed up, and so we had a weird number of players, and Ash wanted to play a game he had heard about on Shut Up and Sit Down that he picked up. It's an older game called Ladies and Gentlemen.
Yeah, they had reviewed it at some point, and it looked ridiculous.
Yes. So I'm still not entirely sure if it's just if it's an older game that is horribly sexist because they didn't care, or if it's supposed to very much be a parody.
I think it's supposed to be that, because it's not that old of a game.
It's like 2004, I thought he said. Maybe not. I don't know. Jeff, look it up. But anyway, the theme of the game is that you divide up into teams of 2 players each.
2013.
Yeah.
Okay. So some of it feels a little still just.
I mean, yes. Yeah.
But if you play the right group like we did, you just end up taking the piss out of it anyway because, sexist tropes are kind of funny.
It's about making money and then the ladies spend the money.
Yeah, so you pair up into 2 teams, a husband and a wife. And the husbands, the game is played out over 3 phases.
The gentleman's duty.
Yeah, there's you play several rounds, and each round is divided into 3 phases: the morning phase, the afternoon phase, and the evening phase. And both sides play simultaneously. So the husbands are doing the morning phase at the same time that the wives are doing the morning phase. And in a game with an odd number of players like we had, there is an additional woman who's the mistress who is dating all of the men at the same time. Or like the courtesan, I think they call her. But so the men, I didn't play it. I was the wife in this situation, so I didn't get to see what the men did at work. There's like even a little divider across the thing. And they talk about that. Like the men aren't allowed to discuss money because the women aren't allowed to know about money or deal with money and business and things like that. But they're doing something over there that like determines goods that they can trade on a little stock market to get money. And then in the afternoon, they're like the morning they're getting goods and then they're selling them on the market in the afternoon. Women, meanwhile, in the morning are doing a thing like to stock the shops because they each have their own favorite shop that they patron. And so they choose like what it's going to display for the day. And then you go shopping and you pick a certain amount of like clothing articles like dress or petticoat or hat or necklace or gloves or shoes. And you end up with a hand of those. And then in the evening, the women hand their things that they have went to buy over to the man who decides the things he can pay for and the things he will not pay for. And if you have the courtesan, the rules are that so the end of the game, we'll get to the final scoring, basically how you win is at the end of the game, there's a big ball and whichever is the most elegant woman is their team is the victor. So the courtesan, if she is the least elegant, then whichever husband gave her the least money worth of goods automatically loses no matter what because she makes a big ruckus at the ball. But throughout the game, as they buy things for her, they have to match what they buy her by buying the same amount of goods for their wife because otherwise the wife will get mad that you're spending more on your mistress. But otherwise the wives give no shits about the mistress, which we totally played up. But it's a weirdly funny game, and there's secret cards that only the women get that are servants that are like end game scoring, and you know what your end game scoring things are, but the husband doesn't, and so you're giving them certain clothes to try and get them to buy for your end game scoring, and they don't realize it. So Ben was my husband in the game, and I had my starting servant was that if I got 3 1-star items, I'd get a bunch of extra points, and if I got 4 1-star items, I'd get even more points. Well, he kept not buying me the 1-star items because he was like, "These aren't good enough for you. Get better clothes. I only want to buy you 2 and 3-star things." And I was like, "You daft bastard." So I kept being like, "My servant says these will look lovely on me, and I trust her." Just really churching it up. But it was a bunch of fun, especially as like kind of a late night drinking and sitting around bullshitting kind of game. With a horribly, horribly sexist theme that you just kind of have to take the piss out of a little bit to have fun with. So I did end up winning, which was also nice. I was the fanciest belle at the ball, so that made me
Well,
happy.
obviously, Ben was making the right decision then.
Clearly, it worked out. It worked out in the end, yes. He was also one of the wealthiest people, so he did very well at the stock market, which meant he was able to buy me the very nice things that I sent him.
Yep.
So, I really liked it. despite its
privilege.
super sexist theme.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I played.
Old-timey sexist.
Yeah. Jeff, what about you? What have you been playing?
Stuff and things. Let's start with a quick one, a little bit more Star Realms Frontiers. I've been bringing the Ultimate Collection box, or whatever it's called, with my Star Realms, Colonies, and Frontiers, all of the decks, all the expansions, all sleeved to game night. And Alice and I did a best 2 out of 3 on Star Realms Frontiers. We didn't use any of the fleet decks, so there was no unique like starter stuff. We just had the base 8 Scout 2 Viper with Star Realms Frontiers, which was the only time I'd played Frontiers without the fleet decks. The power creep in Star Realms has certainly gone forward.
Yes.
And as I didn't play much Colonies at all, it was like Frontiers is good. I'd like to see where Colonies sits in that power creep, just because, I mean, there's so many expansions and I don't know how to like put them all in the game without having to take them all out every time. We did play with the Scenarios expansion, which adds just kind of like a global buff to the game. Like every time you bought a ship, it would go on top of your deck. And every time you bought a station, it was one cheaper, but it would go into your discard like normal. Or you could hold on to cards between turns instead of having to play all of them.
That's pretty cool.
We never even used it though. Like
really?
it was enough to where we were just getting what we wanted, that we didn't have to use the like hold mechanic on it.
Okay.
And there was one other one that I don't remember because it was fast and I got slaughtered. But I ended up winning 2 out of 3 on those games. Star Realms continues to be super fun. After that, before that, earlier in the evening, because we had played a game of Irish Gauge that day as well to prep for the stream we were doing on Friday. We played like a 5-player Irish Gauge, and that was fun. It's quick. It's like 45 minutes. I could take a train game in 45 minutes.
Yeah, even the stream was like a 45-minute stream.
Yeah,
it was pretty great.
It may have been about an hour with 5 players and 4 new players.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it was still very fast. Before that, first thing we did as we got there with our delicious grilled cheeses and tomato soups at game night at Strange, we played Undaunted Normandy, a World War II war game area control
Deck
builder.
That's a lot.
So each scenario you have, I think this one had like 8 different tiles. Each tile has a built-in defense value.
Okay.
Between 0 and 3 that I've seen so far.
Yes.
Each unit/soldier, there's like scouts and riflemen. That's all we used for the first one. It was Germans and Americans, because that's all that fought in World War II.
Yep. That's it.
I'm right here. I don't need to send you an email.
Especially at Normandy, no one else except the Americans and the Germans.
That's it.
Is the King of Australia on the chat?
There were certainly no Australians.
Yeah.
Don't be ridiculous.
So we played the base scenario. We get 2 riflemen and 2 scouts, and you just have to there's little flags that have control points, and you're just trying to control 5 control points worth of control points.
Yes. Basically, you're just trying to get enough points to say that you have the area.
That's the objective.
Yeah, that's the
to get to hold 5 points. But each card, it's a deck builder. So you start with a certain amount that the game gives you. Then you have a, I guess, Dominion-esque.
It's a supply, they call
it. That you can buy out of. Then you have certain cards that aren't units. You have like a platoon commander.
Platoon commander, squad leaders, like lieutenant something or something like that. Sergeant.
And they just have powers. They're not really on the field, but they let you, after you play a card, to move or take control or recon areas. You get to pull them back into your hand. But there's A and B squads. So like the A squad leader can't tell B squads, they can't use their special powers on them. A squad only works with A squad. B squad only works with B squad. So there's shooting in the game, like World War II.
Right.
I'm not sure they were shooting in World War II either.
A lot of recon and scouting in this game.
That's true.
They definitely lay up the like Fog of War as a card. It's like the useless card. And then your scouts can give the other player the useless cards, or they can take them out of your hand if you have them.
And
you only draw 4.
You only draw 4, and your riflemen or whatever they're called, like they just can't go into areas if your scouts haven't scouted them out to make sure that they're okay.
Yeah.
So and
what happens if your scouts don't come back because they were caught?
Then you have to just buy more scouts.
Okay.
Yes.
And then
there is a deck of scouts that you can buy from.
Okay.
And if they all die, then you don't have any more scouts, and you're just like, well, I'm trapped here. So great.
But as you recon, you put a Fog of War in your deck for every space that you recon. So you don't want to recon everywhere and have like full movement.
Right.
You kind of want to make some paths through these tiles. So every unit has like a defense value. I think riflemen were 4, scouts were 5. It's a D10 combat system. You just roll the D10. You have their armor or defense value plus the space that they're on, plus the distance, how many different squares you draw through.
Yeah.
So if you're 2 spaces away, shooting at a 5, 5, 6, 7, and then maybe there's a 1 on the tile, 8. You need an 8+ to do a damage. When you do that damage, which doesn't always happen, but sometimes it happens with people more than others in certain parts of the game.
Yes. Yep.
They first discard, if I was shooting Rifleman A, if they have a Rifleman A card in their hand, they will have to discard that. If they don't have it in their hand.
From the game. You're basically.
Cull it from the game.
You're killing somebody there in that squad.
How rude.
I know.
Yeah. They're all named too.
Yeah, they are.
Then
Heinz Burger.
Heinz Space Burger.
Yep.
If it's not in your hand, which is definitely the most like sucky thing because you've already drawn, now you only have 3 cards for that turn. If it's not in your hand, you take it from your discard to get out of the game, and then after that, if you pull it out of the deck, and if there's none left at all, you pull the unit off the table.
Yeah.
And then the only way to get it back on the table is if you haven't bought any from your supply. And then when you draw it, it will come back onto the table.
But
in your spawn point.
Yeah. So if you moved it across the map and then your opponent kills it, it goes all the way back and you have to bring it. Yeah. So that's where you don't want to keep supplies of those because you're like, they're pinned down, but I keep sending in more guys to get killed.
Yes. So it's hard to like get things off the table. It's just you're really thinning out how many times they can activate something before they shuffle their deck together.
I gotta say, this sounds interesting, but it mostly makes me want to ask how far along you are in the Grizzled campaign. Did you finish it?
No.
You want to play it sometime?
Probably.
Okay. I'm there.
That's World War I, guys. That already happened.
Yeah.
20 years ago. Yeah. Get over it. 15.
Yeah. So I liked it. The dice 25. Mechanic is okay. If someone's rolling real hot, you can get boned real hard.
Yeah, it makes sense, especially like the distance and the defense value. Like a town is going to be a lot better, or a forest versus like an empty field. And if you're on their square versus shooting them from, a ways away, it makes sense that, someone can get a lucky shot in and hit it. But if someone's just rolling 9s and 10s, then there's nothing, no matter how far away you are, it's, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yep.
So.
And then there's a couple situations where if you haven't thought right, someone can play like a rifleman, have him move, use the squad commander, and then they play the rifleman again, and now they've captured that point, and there was like nothing you could do about it. The only thing you could have done is shoot him before he did it.
or you have because you can't gain control of an area if you have a token there. So it's like, oh, he looks like he's gonna go here. That's where you send your either another rifleman or a squad. Or not a squad, the scouts or something like that.
Right.
So you have to do preventative actions because you can technically have 3 rifleman cards in your hand and he could move twice and then capture an area if the route has already been planned out. So
we also haven't mentioned the initiative mechanic.
Yeah.
You draw 4 cards. One of those is your initiative that will just immediately get discarded. So you're not playing all 4. And whoever has the highest number goes first. If it's tied, whoever has the initiative keeps it.
Yeah.
So it's about kind of going back and forth. The Fog of Wars you can play as initiative, but they're 1. The platoon leader is a 9, but there's only 1.
Yeah.
Scouts.
And he can let you draw cards or get a lot of cards of just various amounts. So you there's a trade-off there of
draw 2 more cards.
Yeah.
or recruit cards out of your supply.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because there's no real money mechanic or anything like that. It's just bolster.
Drafting.
It's just take 2. Yeah, take 2 cards of that squad's letter.
I would love to play an evening of like, first off, Secret Hitler. If the fascists win, then you move on to Black Orchestra and try and kill Hitler. And if you fail at killing Hitler in Black Orchestra, then we get to D-Day and we have to play this game too.
Yes. I'm looking forward to more Undaunted. We had just played with the base riflemen and scouts. Don't have a ton of powers.
It was the first scenario, so like we didn't have the mortars, we didn't have the snipers. There are a bunch of other
machine guns,
machine gunners.
There's suppression mechanics.
Yes.
So it seems like a lot more to it.
Yeah, I watched a playthrough with all of those things. It definitely adds a lot to it. But
nice.
We were waiting for Irish Gauge stuff, and neither one of us had actually played. So I was like, oh, we'll just do this. At one point, I basically had to concede.
I killed everything except maybe one rifleman card in your hand.
No, you had killed all my riflemen except for one rifleman card that I had not bought yet. So I would then have to buy it. It would go in my discard pile, and then it would shuffle back in until I drew it, and then I would play the card that would bring him out. And then I could play him and then maybe the squad leader to help move that along. But that
you were like 3 shuffles of your entire deck away from that.
Exactly.
Because I still had everyone.
Yeah.
I had no one removed.
You had no one removed, but you had 1 or 2 cards left of some things, but it was...
Yeah, I was also pretty light.
Yeah.
So.
Which sides were you each?
He was the Germans, I was the...
Americans.
Once
again, the only 2 people.
Good job, America.
Yeah.
I just don't remember which ones were which.
Yeah.
I couldn't have cheered Jeff if he'd been playing the filthy Germans. It's World War II. You can't cheer the Germans.
Yeah.
Are we the baddies?
That's the second time that's been referenced today.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
Mike Jones referenced it earlier.
Oh yeah. No, it's a good sketch.
One of the best sketches.
Yep.
Yeah.
After that, real quick, non-spoilery wise, Andrew and I played Pandemic Legacy Season 2
with Ant and Wes.
You guys still playing things wrong?
We did halfway through the first game. We figured out that I had set it up right. Thankfully, Jeff was there to
you had not set it up right.
Yeah, that I had set it up wrong.
Oh yes.
And I had looked through. I don't think this is right. But I can't find the rule that tells me...
It was not an easy rule to find either. We had at least 3 people look, and just because turns were happening, to hand the rule book off. Where does it say this in here? And it's just, it's not super clear, and it's in setup, I think, and it's not in where it is later in the book as well.
So the rule for setting up the game is in setup, and it's hard to find?
No, it actually isn't in setup. It's in drawing the cards.
Yeah.
When you draw... It was about when you draw a bad card, you're supposed to skip it at a certain time.
But our setup because of that is what got messed up.
Oh, okay.
Which freed up 15 supply to be able to put in other spots.
So the rest of the game, that game went much better once we had all
we played 2 games and they all went very well.
Yes.
I think for the most part.
Good to hear.
We finally won 2 games in a row.
Nice.
Yes.
So what month are you in now?
We
July?
just finished June, So we're now
we'll be at the start of July.
Where are you guys?
I don't know. I think we were at May. I don't know.
Okay.
I think at this
April
point,
or May, but I think...
Adrian and I are just going to have to two-hand it. So.
Who are the other people in your game?
David and Bob.
Uh-huh.
So
my other game is also in just finished June, I think, or maybe it just finished May, something like that.
You're playing with Paul and
Mike Jones and Legal. So Legal is a friend of Mike's. He comes sometimes.
Gotcha.
Yep.
But yeah,
I don't know if I've met him, but I'm having more fun with Pandemic Legacy Season 2.
Now that we're winning.
Now they're winning, and we unlocked a bunch of stuff.
Yes.
And which we didn't for 5 games.
Yeah.
It
was
nice.
Brutal.
Yeah.
So we even got someone got an exposure and didn't die. So that's good.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's impressive.
But yeah, now we have Europe and the Middle East. Africa is still, it's a big black blob. Mostly.
That one's not easy.
No.
Even for how much we're trying to make it happen, it's not easy.
Cool.
Yeah, so we got clear skies ahead. No problems could possibly happen.
Nothing.
No, it's everything will be better.
Yeah, it's not getting way harder now, but at least we're doing okay now.
Yeah.
Right on. Zach, what about you? Have you played anything that didn't already get chatted about?
Yes, a couple things. One, on Monday, I played Mansions of Madness. Did 2 players. It was a Silverthorn Manor. It's something.
Silver Twilight Lodge?
Nope. It's Silver something Manor. So whatever that is. It was a lot of fun. The mansion was moving around and shit, which was getting like you're in a room, all of a sudden it's just like, all right, I pull this thing. It just shifts up, like moves like 3 spaces, and you're like,
interesting.
Oh, well, now I don't have an exit from where I wanted to go to where I am now. So, because Allison and I were trying to stay together a little bit, and literally I opened something, it just moved the hallway, and now there is just a door to nowhere. It's just like, well, looks like we're exploring.
Great.
Yeah. We both ended up going insane. Hers was real stupid. So like 2 players, you don't have to worry about anybody becoming a traitor, which is good.
Is that one of the 2-player mechanics in it?
No. If you have 3+ players, there are chances that someone can become, like when we were playing.
Right. No. Yeah. So that's what
Are
Jeff's
the
saying.
insanity cards?
Are the insanity in a 2-player game? You can't become a traitor.
You can't become a traitor. Sorry,
I didn't realize there was certain like player count.
Yeah,
I didn't either until she told me, and like I had apparently not gotten them all because I grabbed one and I was like, "You're a deep one now." And I was like, "This looks like a traitor card to me." But hers was the only way for her to win is if the investigators completed the investigation and she was dead. Which I don't know if you remember in Mansions of Madness, if you die, everybody else has exactly 1 turn to finish what's going on.
Whoa.
Or you lose.
Yeah.
So it has a very, like, you have to be like, okay, we're almost done. I'm going to go kill myself real quick. And that's
Which is not easy to do.
No, it is not.
In that game.
No. Mine, on the other hand, was a lot easier. Mine was just called aggressive. And it was just, I had to start every sentence with no. So she'd just be like, "Is this the way we go?" Like, no, I think that's the right way to go. Yeah.
No, that's the right way to go.
Yeah.
Now let me think about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just no way that's gonna work out well for us. It was really having to come up with a lot of ways to try and organically say no. And after like the 10th or 12th time, she heard me always start with no. It was just like,
hang on a second.
Yeah. Is your thing you always have to disagree with me? And I'm like, no, it's not that.
I've been informed it's Gates of Silverwood Manor.
There we go.
I was just about to chime in. Yeah, May. It was funny watching May in chat where you started talking about it. She's like, the one with the moving rooms?
Yeah.
Like right as you were talking about the moving rooms, she's like, yeah, that one's great.
Yeah. No, it was a lot of fun. And we barely lost, which was really annoying, but it was definitely enjoyable and worth playing. And then like I started it up again to look at something and, did completely different setup. So it is definitely one of the ones that will change how it's built a lot. So
cool. Nice.
Yeah. And then on Wednesday, after we were playing that, while we were playing Undaunted, some friends were playing the game and they had the worst score. Excuse me. They had the worst score I'd heard in this one. And they came back and they're like, we really fucked up. And it was like, what'd you get? Like 10? They got 17 points in that game. Yeah.
So they had 17 cards they couldn't play.
Yes. And this was 2-player. And
2-player?
Yeah. Oh. And I was just, you know what? I started doing exactly what Adrian did. And so after we got done playing Irish Gauge, we were trying to look for something to play. And then we're like, hey, you know what? Why don't we do the game? And it's like, can't get any worse than that, right? Well, it can. I'll tell you.
Tell me.
Are you ready?
I don't think I am.
25.
25.
What?
25 cards, and they're like, I think somebody started, and they're like, okay, I play this, and it was basically like a 15 and then a 20 on their first or whatever, and then the next person is like, well, all right, and then they play like a 12 and a 19 or something on that one as well, because like our cards were just horrible. They were all center and then immediately started in the worst way. And it was just like, and obviously Paul, he blamed me for that because I laughed like Adrian was laughing. And I was like, no, if I can have that effect on a game, it makes me very happy. And so we immediately played again and we did beat it. So to make up for it.
Okay.
So we averaged 12.5.
Great.
Fantastic.
Yep. So that's about it for me.
Cool. Andrew, what about you? You play anything?
Yeah, I today has been all games basically. Mike Jones, meanest guy in Slack, came over and we started a Gloomhaven campaign, just the two of us. It was a little bit delayed because he's halfway through building his broken token insert for it, and therefore, like, the combination of the broken token and the stuff that's half built meant that not all of the stuff fit into his Gloomhaven box. And so there was a second box that was still at his apartment. And so we had to go back and get it.
Gotcha.
And so that was a little bit delayed, but we got through the first mission of that.
What's your class? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Cragheart or Cragheart.
Cragheart.
That's what
I am.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Real bad at getting experience, just so you know.
Oh, I trounced Mike in experience this one at least. He's the Tinkerer, so like super
It's
tiny.
one we not had in our campaign.
Yeah, you did.
You did.
For
It's the
one
one we've
fucking
not
session.
had in our campaign.
One session, you had a tinker.
So the combination of the Cragheart, who is very big, and the Tinkerer, who is very small. Our party is called Twins. And
Nice.
I'm Arnie, and he's Danny.
Nice.
Love it.
Awesome.
So yeah, that was fun. I was one turn away from being exhausted at the end, so it did not play.
That sounds like Gloomhaven, yeah.
Yeah, I did not play optimally, but I'm learning. So, and then after that, it was like, okay, we have like just enough time before I need to head out for recording this podcast. We can get in one more game. What do you want to play? We wound up breaking out Pandemic Rising Tide. And it was like, I've been meaning to play this with the population mechanic. Like, I've only played it by myself. Like, you and I were talking about it one time.
I still want to do it. Yeah.
So we added the population mechanic in, and it's one of those things that, like, when you look at the final state of the board, we trounced it. There were, like, 4 cubes left on the board or something like that. But we were also not that, like, there were a couple points when we were not that far from having lost.
Right,
like,
yeah.
It can turn on a dime so quickly. But no, we did win. We had two standard goals, the population goal, and then one of the special goals that's not population. So
Gotcha.
And then one more than the base number of storms, which are the epidemic cards. So a little bit harder than your standard, but we didn't go like super crazy. We didn't add a 5th goal or a 6th goal or like.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
But still. My favorite of the survival series of Pandemic, but yeah, so a lot of Pandemic going on.
Yeah.
Cool.
And are we trying to play Pandemic next week?
I think it's not this coming Thursday, but the Thursday after. I think is the plan.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So on that note, Paul and Mike and Legal, we also need to schedule. If you're listening, we also need to schedule ours.
So much scheduling that needs to happen
Yes.
for board games.
Yep. Yeah.
Speaking of scheduling
Campaigns.
Kingdom Death Monster games.
Yeah.
Well, so first, because we do Kingdom Death Hour after Bloody Minute.
Okay.
Jesus
So,
Christ,
come on,
man,
Jeff.
get it
I
right.
didn't know that there was a certain order.
I mean, it's only the way we've always done it.
I was unaware of that.
I'm just mimicking the snarky tone you've gotten when I dared to ask.
Anything. Yes, correct. You know your place.
Son of a bitch. So, yeah, we've got Bloody Minute.
So I played my 6th of 7 matches in Blood Bowl against Frank and his Dark Elves. My 3rd Dark Elf match this season. Thankfully, the last. He's just been absolutely getting pounded into the ground every single game. I'm not sure he has any wins. His Red Desert Ravagers, I said Frank was playing him. Frank is like a very long-term, like very first season player. He's been around forever. Great guy to play against. Always like playing against him, but he hasn't played. I haven't been in his same division in quite some time. I have confirmed that he has not won a game in like 8 games, 9 games. So that trend continued in this match. He's been getting so many miss next games from previous players, just pounding him into the ground. He was miss next game on 2 blitzers this game. He had 270k in inducements. He got a star player of the name Hubris Rackarth. He's like strength 4 blitzer. He has block, but he has no dodge, which was useful for me. And I spent most of the game trying to pound him into the ground. Got a couple KOs. I fouled his like really nice plus edge blitzer into a KO. His Witch Elves went out. Wasn't really doing any damage, but I got him off the pitch because Dark Elves with their high agility are super dangerous because they need a 2+ to do pretty much anything.
Right.
And he has multiple Ag 5, which need like a 1+, so they can have modifiers to roll anything on a 2+. So I focused on smashing him a lot. I was able to get my guys in a lot better position this game. I ended up getting another guard last game, so I have 4 guard in my Saurus and Crocs on my team.
Gotcha.
It was a good game. Nothing really too much to complain about for my side. He made it out the end of the game with all of his players without any real damage to him. He was rolling bad for all of his Ag rolls. Lots of ones.
Ugh.
He was rolling those ones like crazy, which a lot of my other Dark Elf players were not doing. So I was glad that actually, I know that can happen now. I've seen it with my own eyes.
There you go.
Yeah, it was a pretty by the book smashing without any permanent damage. Ended up winning 2-0. One of my skinks got its 3rd skill, which was not a double, so I immediately fired them, and I now have a new skink. Because 3 skills, no doubles, doubles their price.
Oh man,
they go from 60k to 120k. 120k with no doubles is useless. Bloated is really what they are. So now I have a new, fresh 60k skink.
Gotcha.
So you can mold to your desire.
Yes. Hopefully I get some
mold
doubles.
to the dice's desire.
Yeah. I still only have the 2 doubles on my team, the block skink and my plus strength Saurus. Once again, my Croxagore did not win MVP. He's on, he got his last skill in the first game of last season.
Wow.
Against.
Are you on 2nd season or 3rd season? For
this is
team?
the 3rd season.
So this is your last season, right?
This is.
It will be because of how their
league.
They will not be brought next season because everyone brings back a new team. But that doesn't mean I won't redraft them. So I can bring them back in future seasons if I so choose.
I see.
I would like to redraft them just to have them, but we'll see what their
end game is.
Yeah, I could lose most of the team just because everyone is pretty expensive.
Oh yeah.
But
Thursby says goblins are bust, Jeff.
Yes, we were talking about that today. Thursby had to, he re-rolled, he was playing vampires, and he had 2 vampires die. They're some of the best players in the game, but on a 1, they run over to someone else, one of their thralls, and injures them, and with no armor roll. And he had 2 of them end up dying in his first 2 games. So he literally retired the team and started over as goblins and has gone undefeated with goblins. My next game is the last game of the regular season. I'm pretty much locked in. I think Ant ran the chance. I have a 95+% chance of making the playoffs. And I think after this win, I don't think there's going to be a problem with that. My last game of the season is against Nurgle, Phil, 3-time champion of our Blood Bowl League. And he has some Claw Mighty Blow. I don't look forward to getting crushed into the ground. I messaged Ant because the first 3 on the vaults, I believe, get buys for the first round. I think you were asking about this last week, Zach.
Oh, yeah.
The top 3 seeds get a buy. And then seed 4 and 5, and then the rest of the playoffs will play the first round.
Gotcha.
But if I get smashed in the Nurgle game, I get a rest week, so all my injuries and missed next games will roll over as if I had sat out a week.
Nice.
Yeah. So
I hate to ask, but since I did miss apparently all of the Bloody Minute, it was actually a reasonable time Bloody Minute. Did you win or lose? That's all I care.
I won 2-0.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Not sure if Jeff actually said that himself. He just implied it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a pretty easy 2-0 smashing. But no real big injuries. And my Croxagore, once again, did not level.
Yep.
He needs 2 star player points. And I think 13 games in a row, I've nominated him for MVP, which he has not won. And that is a 1 out of 3.
Guess I don't know enough about the game to know how that works.
You get 5 free star player points when you nominate someone for an MVP, but it's random for those. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on a D6. And then they get the MVP.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Before it used to be your entire roster, roll it, see who randomly gets it.
Yeah.
This is a way better system.
Yeah, could have just been the guy that literally did nothing.
Or it could have been the guy that died, because the guy that died can still get the MVP. He played in the game.
Yeah.
That
might be valuable.
Yeah.
Yep. It used to be like stars that aren't even on your team anymore. Oh, they won the MVP. Oh, well, they stole those 5-star player points because they don't use star player points.
Yeah. But now at least you get to nominate them. So
yes, it is a much, much, much better system.
Yep. Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah. Last game coming soon. We'll find out in the next week or so.
Right on. So that's Bloody Minute, which brings us over to
Kingdom Death Hour.
Andrew and I's favorite part of the show.
Yeah.
We get to sit through a Kingdom Death Hour.
Do you want to go get more stuff?
I timed that poorly. I should have sat through the Bloody Minute and then left during the Kingdom Death Hour.
So we're still doing our People of the Stars campaign because it's been going surprisingly really well.
That seems to have happened a lot in your campaigns recently. You've had a couple that have just went
our previous
crazy
one,
good.
We had a lot of unfortunate deaths.
And really the only people that were left were people that were already super injured. But this one, like, starting in Lantern Year 8, so this is like the 8th round of us doing stuff.
8th hunt, 8th encounter, whatever.
Yeah, no deaths, which was really surprising.
So we hadn't even had a death principle yet, whether graves or cannibalism.
Yep. And so, we the last story event we had, Glowing Crater with the Dragon King, my Fist and Tooth guy who, just punches and bites people. He got Acid Palms, which, gives you an additional D10 of strength when you're hitting with your fists, which means it's actually viable.
Yes.
Especially with Monster Claw style that I have.
Yeah.
So we decided to fight a Screaming Antelope.
Level 2.
Yep.
Which went fine.
Yeah.
I don't think anything really happened.
Nothing too much.
Our survivors just have a good amount of armor and abilities.
Fine.
So we smashed up the Screaming Antelope because we wanted to get the Beast Knuckles, the Katars that for Thursby's character, because he kept trying to go whip or Katars, and then he got rid of the whip, and then we ran into a bunch of events that actually used the whip, and he didn't have it.
Yep.
So what a fool for giving up on his dream.
Yep.
Everyone, it's about this campaign is about making really powerful characters, and all of them have been in enough to where we're getting our weapon mastery in like the next round.
Yeah.
Paul just got his axe mastery in the very last game of the session we played.
Yeah. I would have gotten my Fist and Tooth mastery had I been able to do a single damage on the last person that we fought.
Which didn't happen.
No.
But we'll get to him.
Yes.
Because it's the first time we'd fought him.
Yep.
After that, we did the Tyrant level 2. The Tyrant is like the Dragon King.
Well, before that, Adrian, I don't know if you remember this settlement event, Clinging Mist, that would sometimes just anytime that we just ended up restarting a campaign with our already like
super powerful people
was because of Clinging Mist.
Okay,
and
which we got again.
Which we got again.
Jesus,
but we didn't get the restart your settlement event.
No,
we got the one. That's just like, everyone that came back from that last hunt has to skip next hunt.
Yeah.
Oh.
So all of our big, powerful characters were not going to be in the next hunt.
That's unfortunate.
It was fine because, like Jeff was saying, we want to build a bunch of powerful people, not just focus on a couple.
Yeah.
And so it was good for us to be like, okay, well, let's figure out what people we're going to use after those people are finished. So we decided to, and unfortunately, we were fighting with the Tyrant level 2.
Which is the dude on the throne that we're huddling around for light and warmth.
Yes.
He comes down every once in a while and tests us.
Yep. And usually those tests involve
punching a hole through your chest.
Yeah. And so that one, we had all.
We did pretty well in that one.
We did pretty well on that one. Thursby had one where he just basically, he had his Katars, he rolled for 3 successes, and it was all tests and challenges. And those are the more because the Tyrant's basically like a dragon god sort of person.
The human form of the dragon.
Yeah. If you get certain things, you get dragon traits, and when he tests you, it hurts you if you have a lot of dragon traits.
It's harder to hurt him if
yes.
you already have them.
Exactly. And so Thursby ended up getting 3 of those tests and succeeding at all of them. And so
because his strength is absolutely ridiculous. I think he had 5 or 6. And he's up to 8 strength now. You start with 0.
Yes.
So he's gotten that many random events that have just given him more strength.
Yeah. It was pretty. But at one point, like this guy also teleports around. And so you want to get grouped together. And everybody was, except for my guy who was off on the side. and then I ended up attacking him, and then I was going to run away, except I attacked him and his trap card came out. And the trap card was just like, oh, you do damage this much, like an X amount of damage and an X amount of hit locations, depending on what his resonance number one, which is usually 0, but he had a mood card out that made his resonance number 5. And so he did 5 damage to 5 hit locations, which my armor at the time was like 2. So
it takes 3 beyond your armor to give you a serious injury that can kill you or make all of the fun things happen.
Yep. And so I rolled and I got 4 different hit locations. So that means that I took 4 severe injury rolls and basically involved arms getting removed.
Flying off.
Yeah. Just, I think like he ended up, basically what happened is.
You exploded.
I exploded and I died.
Yes.
And then he immediately just went over and fought you guys, and you guys ended up beating him.
Yeah, pretty handily.
Yeah.
Towards the end there. But you exploded.
I did. It was,
but also gave us our first death.
Yeah, that was
in the campaign. So we finally got to do our graves because cannibalism is terrible.
Yep.
I wish it was better balanced to actually make it a reasonable choice, but it is not.
Yep. And so we
then we went back to our regular characters. We did the hunt reenactment, whatever. Then we fucked up and forgot like our show. Like we use an app. It's called Scribe. It tracks all of our characters, tracks our campaign. It makes the paperwork so much better.
I mean, it lets us even like do our gear loadout now, and it shows all like the affinities that you have, and then it automatically applies what armor and your bonuses for like strength and
you don't have to write
stuff.
all this shit down on paper anymore.
Yeah.
It's just all digital, and it's fan-fucking-tastic.
Yes.
The dude that's doing this is amazing.
This is all fan-driven?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's a very, very good app.
This is the app right here.
Yeah.
I just paid $5 to get the ad-free version. So
yeah. It's worth the $5 for just ads.
Yes.
Because otherwise it's free. So we fucked up and jerked off a bunch. That's kind of what happened. And we ended up fighting the Giga Lion, which was the Gen Con release vignette thing that comes with like some preset survivors. Yep. It's really good if you want to like test out the game or like demo the game with like a friend and kind of just do a scenario.
But it's not like, because normally what they'd have is like, oh, try out the game, and then you try out like your beginning dudes where you only have like a founding stone and a cloth, and that's about it.
Yeah,
this
diaper.
Yeah, this gives you some armor, some weapons, some skills, and you fight against an appropriate leveled monster. So you don't just wipe the floor with it, but you can understand how the game works.
Yes.
Right.
But once you beat that, it does unlock it for any regular campaign. He's a slightly more difficult lion. He's bigger. And then instead of just grabbing one person and running away, he grabs everyone that's adjacent to him and runs away with them.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. It's like claws that catch.
Yeah, he has hooked claws. So that also means that if he ever runs into you, those claws just catch onto you and you just get grabbed and you just get pulled along
keep
with
going.
That sucks.
The model's great.
Yeah, it is.
So he beat the crap out of him like no problem.
Because he starts with an AI card called Smart Cat, which basically you go through his AI deck like 10 deep and you put out any moods that he has in play, and that normally is really shitty because that'll be like more damage, or if you try and attack him, he's going to just, like, one of them is ground fighting, which once you attack him, if you are next to him before you actually attack him, he will attack you, and it can really fuck you up.
Or if you like move within a huge range of him, he just comes at you and attacks you before you can do anything.
Yes.
Thankfully, we didn't. We got the ground fighting, which is like cheating.
Yes.
Because you basically take 10 and just move wherever you want and do whatever you want, because he doesn't activate until something's in that area.
So ground fighting is basically he gets on his back. It's defensive, like MMA defensive.
Well, like a cat.
Yeah,
like on his back.
Yes. Yeah.
So we can set up perfectly, and then we know what his top hit location card is because it's a special one for this scenario.
His paunch.
Yes. And we know what the crit is, which it knocks him over. So we have a founding stone. That's the item that you very first start with. It has a one-time use ability. You just use it, and it automatically crits whatever you threw it at, and then it's gone.
Yeah. Now it's usually nice because when you throw a hit, it like usually will do something like that. But occasionally you could like throw it and you hit a trap or something invulnerable and you wasted it. So the fact that we know the card that's on top is amazing for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's just his scenario. That card's always on the top.
So,
but it knocks him over.
Sorry, question. this is sort of esoteric, but a moment ago you said the Giga Lion had claws that catch. Is that actually like the wording on the card?
No, it's hooked claws.
Oh, okay.
I want to say the flavor has claws that catch.
Yeah.
In there.
Yeah.
Because that's a reference to Jabberwocky.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Claws that catch, jaws that bite.
This has all of it.
Yeah.
So
I was not expecting culture from KDM.
We told you it's got everything, man.
It's got some real anime waifu stuff in there.
Yeah.
That's high culture right there.
Absolutely. So we whipped the Founding Stone at it and immediately knocked it over, which gave us 4 rounds of attacks that hit on 3+ instead of our usual weapons 7+ or 8+ for some people.
Yep.
Like Zach. Who sucks.
Hey,
and
that's because I got so courageous that I just went blind
he
in an
saw
eye.
the truth.
I saw the truth and it blinded me.
And it blinds him, like literally plucks out an eye.
Yep.
Because he saw the truth.
Were you blinded by the light?
Did you see the sign? Did it?
Yeah.
Open up your eyes.
Oh, yeah,
That's
definitely.
All
Yeah.
those things happened at the same time, which is why he pulled his eye out.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, God.
It literally opened your eye and now you can't see anything.
No,
through
exactly.
It anymore.
Yeah.
And so
Did part of seeing everything reveal to you that Ace of Base were a bunch of Nazis?
Are they really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I was not familiar with that. That is disturbing.
Good people.
Yeah.
Since we are on a brief Ace of Base tangent, though.
You're going to latch on to anything you can.
I had a friend that was working in a Planned Parenthood at one point as a receptionist, and, they had just generic radio on in the background, and all that she wants is another baby came on in the background. She was like, do I acknowledge this by turning it off, or do I just pretend it's not happening?
There's no right answer there.
Exactly.
So we murdered the hell out of that Giga Lion,
Yeah.
which is nice because it dropped more resources, which we needed desperately. We've been blowing through our resources so much and not getting what we need, and getting some nice equipment through it. But after that, we realized we were supposed to fight the Manhunter level 2, which is sort of like a weird wrestler crossed with the Undertaker.
So wrestler.
And I guess and Undertaker.
Speaking of wrestling, I saw a kayfabe reference today, and I knew what it was thanks to our discussion about what kayfabe
There
is.
you go.
Basically, D&D is all kayfabe.
Yes, correct. It's all acting.
Yep.
So yeah, he's like a wrestler / bounty hunter.
Yes. Yeah.
But he has like the Undertaker top hat, the nice wide brim.
Yeah.
That was our first destroyed genitals of the the series. But we did it to him. He didn't do it to us.
Yeah, we did to him.
He kicked someone in the balls, but they rolled a 10, so nothing happened. They got knocked down. That's it. He really sucks. He really, really, really sucks. If you remember from our last one, he has an ability. He starts with 6 like pillars around him, and he has this ability that's like 5x5 wide from him. And every single terrain piece that he is in that area that he destroys adds a speed
So
to
it's a die that you roll.
Yeah. So he rolled like 6 die.
Wow.
Against everybody.
Against every single person in that area.
Basically like a whirlwind of fuckiness.
I jumped into the sky and smashed everything, and then everyone's going to be just... So we immediately knew that was a thing that we could get in this, and immediately ran to the edge of the board, away from all the terrain. Yeah. First thing. And like all 3 of us run, and then Zach's like, well, I could get up behind him. No, we're like, no, don't you do that.
Well, no, but then we reasoned it out, and he runs to the closest threat. Then I'm like, as long as I attack him and then get away from him enough to where you are also like we're tied, I'll just send him towards you, and then it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Which is what happened. So everything was fine.
Okay, I was gonna say, did that work out?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was monster controller and I could pick who I went at.
Yeah.
So I ran it myself, who was near the board edge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then he tombstoned me. Which is a direct Undertaker reference.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Thank you for that. Would not have gotten it.
Yes. No one knows what the Undertaker's special move is.
I did.
Good. They don't do it anymore because it's a pile driver and it hurts necks. So they don't really. They save it for WrestleMania now. They do it like once a year.
Everybody gets real excited.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's clear there's like a foot of space between their head and the mat. They're like super safe about it. It's like, you didn't even touch the fucking mat.
No.
Anyway. We touched the mat a lot.
Yes, we did. Yep.
But we came out pretty unscathed. We got his crystal vial, which is really hard to get. You have to get a crit on a specific card, and that lets you heal a severe injury, which was one of many of Thursby's severe injuries we had to heal from his stupid die rolling.
Yeah.
He had 2 prolapsed intestines or something gross.
He was also the one who got hit in the genitals, I'm being told.
Yeah.
Yes.
He has made that clear.
So that came out well. After the Manhunter, we went to the next year, and we got the Dark Dentist, which Zach wanted so bad. This dentist comes through and messes up your face, but there's one that you can
basically get a metal jaw.
He can sharpen your teeth to make
This game?
yeah.
That was exactly what I was thinking.
Oh yeah.
But there's one he can give you an iron jaw, which makes tooth and claw style way better.
Yeah,
Monster claw style.
You get another D10, so you could just roll fucking 30 strength.
If you crit, you can roll 3d10 to wound.
Yeah.
One of the highest toughnesses we've run into with modifiers has been 17. So
it's
and it averages about 10 or 12.
Okay.
And that's not including the strength that you have built into the weapon.
Yeah, or your own strength.
Yes.
So,
but we didn't have iron for that, so it doesn't matter.
No. At best, it could have given me +1 strength by just making my teeth extra sharp. But I also would have. I could have died too. And then the guy who basically he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna modify your. Oh, well, he's dead now. Well, here's a
skull.
Here's his skull back. Would you guys okay with that?" And
alas, poor Yorick.
Yeah,
free skull.
Free skull. Hey, free skull, man.
We're not gonna say no to a free skull.
And then we fought something that we had never fought before, the Dung Beetle Knight. The Dung Beetle Knight,
I'm super excited for this discussion.
We were debating whether to go level 1 or level 2.
Yes.
We've been destroying everything level 1. We were like, let's just do level 2. And then we're like, we've never fought him before. Let's do level 1. I think it came down to a die roll.
Yeah.
And level 1 won.
Thank God.
Thank God. Because this is the hardest shit I've fought in this game.
Literally.
But literally the hardest shit I've fought in this game.
And it's, maybe outside of the level 2 Kingsman or something like that. But that's more of really stupid mechanics.
And that's supposed to be how you, you don't even defeat him. He's just I was impressed with how you fought. Here's me training you on certain stuff. You're not even supposed to be able to beat him.
Yeah.
This is just holy shit.
Yeah.
Again, literally.
Yeah.
He has a ball.
He has a ball of shit.
Phoenix poop, specifically, that rolls around and hits stuff and hits you and gets knocked into, and he swings it around, and he just really, really, really fucks you up at all times. Not to mention, he has some really bullshit armor hit location cards that are incredibly tough to break, unless you have a club or a pickaxe or one other thing. And I'm the only one with a club, so... Thankfully, I was getting them to just sort of get them out of the hit location deck because I was the only one that could do anything at all anyways.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, this was right after I had just the one eye. So I had to hit on basic, it was super hard to get behind him, so I could only really hit on 8+. Only time I did was his carapace, which is basically, this doesn't count as a wound. If you succeed, it gets removed. Yeah. And I didn't, so.
Yes.
Gotcha.
He just had, we were scared of losing our whole party, total party kill to this guy. We weren't able to hit him. Paul was rolling fucking garbage.
Yep.
He was a garbage person. I was doing great. I was the only one doing anything. But every time he does anything that he doesn't have a stupid dung ball next to him, he does a ground slam and knocks everyone down next to him.
Because he basically has separation anxiety from not being
next to his dung ball.
Yeah.
And then when he's next to his dung ball, he swings it around him and knocks everyone over anyways in a bigger area.
Yeah. And then he just rolls it towards someone and does a shitload of damage.
A lot of poop.
Literally.
And then he picks you up and then he sticks you in the dung ball and you're trapped in the dung ball.
Slowly bleeding to death.
Yeah. And someone can get you out, but then you get this gross card that says you're just really stinky and
yeah.
Also, if you are bleeding to death inside of a pile of poop.
Yeah.
Phoenix poop.
Well, okay, but still probably a lot of infections you are getting.
That's this game.
I mean,
yeah.
Phoenixes are all about resurrection. I just feel like bleeding into Phoenix poop is going to heal you.
Not quite.
No.
Does he also maybe target stinky people?
Yes,
he does.
He does indeed.
He does.
2 people got put in the dung ball, and then he has to target the most smelly people.
Is there a way of determining smelly people if they have not yet, if nobody's been put in?
Yes.
Okay.
There are these consumable items we can make at this organ grinder called like monster grease and things like that.
So, like, I had previously for many of these Lantern years, different showdowns, I had fecal salve, which is I would literally cover myself in shit. And I would do that because then the monster would be like, I'm gonna attack that person instead.
Or it hides your scent and it doesn't know you.
and it gives your skin that nice refreshing glow that everyone's looking for.
Yep.
So we barely killed this guy.
Okay.
Paul was really worried about losing his character on the last couple turns.
Well, he's rolling for shit. What does it matter if he loses this guy?
Because he was just hitting Axe Mastery, which takes 8 hunts because you need enough experience. No, it takes 10 because you can go up to 8, right? 8 is Mastery.
Yeah.
So you need to get 2 hunts to get Age 1, and then you can choose a Weapon Mastery on the next hunt, and then you need to wound with that for 8 hunts.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
And then you get Mastery, which gives every single other person in the settlement the specialization ability naturally. So everyone has that ability now.
Yep. So that's why we were taking our good guys, because we want to get that for everybody.
Yeah. We're all one away from Katars, clubs, and Fist and Tooth. Fist and Tooth is absolutely amazing. We get up at the end of every round instead of the round after we got knocked down.
Yeah.
So we're just constantly standing back up. And everyone in the whole settlement would have that. And that will be an absolute fucking game changer.
Yeah.
Not that we're already not smashing stuff, but just being able to stand up so much. It's so nice.
It is.
So yeah, fuck the Dung Beetle Knight. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. That's it. It's.
I think we should have just prefaced this with saying we literally mean everything that we're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. It was not
every
an
time
easy
you say
one.
shit.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And like we even ambushed him. We got to go first. We got to set up the terrain how we wanted. We got to put him where we wanted. We got to start right up next to him. We got to go first. And we still were getting trounced.
Yeah.
But you beat him.
Yes.
Barely.
Boy, level 1 Dung Beetle Knight is probably one of the hardest things you could hunt in this game.
In terms of level 1, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless you're prepared.
How many levels are there?
You can usually monsters will have 3 levels.
Okay.
And it is like level 1 of most stuff will be like Lantern year 1 to 8 or whatever.
Okay.
And then level 2 stuff will be like 9 to 15, and then level 3 stuff is above, and obviously you can fight other things.
There is a level 4 air quotes, which is like legendary things.
Yeah.
But you can only really unlock those through special events.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple level 4 like nemesis encounters.
Yeah.
Haven't run into any of those yet, except that very first Manhunter that we fought using the wrong rules, where he had all of his level 4 abilities and trap cards. And instead of
how did that go?
We won weirdly because he only had the level 1 toughness and stuff like that.
So overall, a good session, I would say.
Yes.
We found at least 5 free survivors through random events.
Yeah.
Like Zach fell in a sinkhole and then he rolled a 10 and then we pulled him out and then he had a guy hanging off of his foot as we was getting pulled out of the hole. We're like, all right, the settlement's that way, guy. When we were going through the overwhelming darkness with the Path of the Brave, both Paul and I rolled 1s, which is usually bad, but on the Path of the Brave, you don't die. And then we just found a dude, but we had to spend all of our survival, and we could rescue him and send him back to the encampment. And so we both did that. So we got 2 more free ones off of that. This is all in the same hunt, by the way.
Yeah.
Went out with 4 people, came back with 8?
Yes, exactly.
I think it is. I think it was Luxembourg in World War One.
Yes,
yeah. That famously sent a troop of 20 guys to the front and came back with 21 because they made a friend.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yep.
It could be. I said Luxembourg. It could be Liechtenstein. It's one of the small ones that starts with L, and
Fair.
It's I don't remember which war, but I think it was World War One. But yeah,
I like how small country with an L doesn't narrow it down.
no.
Their size of their army is about the same size as our settlement. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
very similar.
All right.
Any more Kingdom Death stuff?
Nope,
We
that's
done?
I think that's it.
We that wraps up the Kingdom Death hour, and so now we have the Andrew I don't know, amount of time. This is a regular segment, so we don't know how long the time will feel like. We know Kingdom Death just feels like an hour.
Yeah.
No matter how long it actually is.
Yeah.
Blood Bowl, I mean, feels like more than a minute, but compared to Kingdom Death, holy shit. So Andrew, you're here on the show almost specifically,
yes,
because you requested to, because you have some trivia.
So I should preface this. I should preface this with saying that I belong to a trivia website called LearnedLeague.com that is one-on-one trivia every day. And as part of that, they sometimes have themed quizzes, and we just went through a themed quiz on board games. And so I figured taking some of the best questions from that would be interesting to quiz you guys and see how you did.
Okay.
There are some that I'm not going to bother asking you, like
okay,
where as the home of the CDC. Where do players start in pandemic? Like, I'm pretty sure you'd all get that. Or like, in a series of games that are collectively known as 18xx games, you buy stock in what kind of company? You'd all get those.
So the CDC's in Topeka, Kansas, and you buy stock in tech companies, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe I should.
You did not disappoint.
But as part of this, I want to make clear I did not come up with these. I would like to thank the editor of the quiz, Jay Dubner. I don't know his first name. It's not publicly accessible on the website. It's just Jay Dubner.
Uh-huh.
And the guy that runs the site is Thorsten Integrity.
Okay.
Thorsten A. Integrity. He has a real name. I don't remember what it is.
That's fine.
But yeah, Thorsten A. Integrity is the commissioner. So thank you to both of them. So I'm going to give 10 questions on board games. Each of the guys has a like writing surface here from just one. And we'll see how they do. We'll keep score. We'll see who's the best at board game trivia.
All right.
Are you guys all ready?
Ready.
As ready as I'm going to be.
All right.
Jeff has not said anything.
Now I'm ready.
Okay. Thank you, Jeff. All right. Number 1. If someone invites you to play this game, 'tis neither here nor there whether you've played it before. Per the game's box, it takes, quote, a minute to learn, a lifetime to master. Do you want me to repeat that?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm almost certain I have it wrong.
Are you guys all ready?
I'm ready.
So.
Okay. The answer is Othello.
No idea.
Go.
The 'tis neither here nor there is a reference.
See,
Thurston.
Thursby also saw go. See?
Yeah,
Thurston.
Thurston.
I'm going to call him Thurston from now.
Gotcha. So he's wrong, is that what you're telling me?
Correct.
Okay.
But
He's thirsting for his vampires to not be dead.
Oh!
Nice.
All right, so Zach gets 1 point. Question number 2. What 1962 stock buying game currently has the highest Board Game Geek ranking among all inductees in the Games Magazine Hall of Fame?
one more time?
What 1962 stock buying game currently has the highest Board Game Geek ranking among all inductees in the Games Magazine Hall of Fame?
I'm ready.
Ready.
You ready?
No.
Jeff's not going to do so well.
Stock buying game.
I think there will be a few in.
Okay. All right.
Don't worry.
We'll see.
Okay. All right. You guys ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
The answer is Acquire.
Yeah.
All right.
Damn it, Zach
So-
wasn't sure, but he got it right anyway.
It had been a while since I played, so I couldn't remember if you get stocks. And I was like, oh, yeah, you do buy stocks for.
Is that the one
Yeah.
where it's the city, the stacking building
Yes.
thing?
Yes.
Okay. But I have no idea what that game is, but all I know if that is the city or the building
Yep.
part
And then
of
it's
it.
old and very hard to find some of the older copies.
Yes.
Which are
especially
the
like
best
the good
copies,
Yeah.
too.
Yes.
I know that.
All right. Number 3. In August 2019, Hasbro purchased Entertainment One, which owned the rights to kid-friendly brands like Peppa Pig and PJ Masks, as well as what seminal West Coast hip-hop record label. As an article on avclub.com said, we would absolutely play a Dr. Dre branded version of Operation. or mess around with Snoop Dogg's Ouija board, or play the Who Killed Tupac edition of Clue.
Ready.
Oh, this isn't fair. I know. Just give me 1 second. God damn it.
Done.
Done.
I have a timer. I knew how long it was.
Well, I just
Thursby,
saw.
don't-
I just saw the.
Don't kill it.
I don't get this one.
Okay.
So I saw the answer.
It is Death Row Records. Yes.
I had that one.
I should know that one.
Did he spell it correctly?
He did. I think. Well, he did Death Row Records as like Death Row, 2 separate words. So I don't know.
Is it DETH?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
I had it spelled
Wait,
correctly.
Then he did not spell it correctly. He spelled it death like the actual word. Death.
I will say that the quiz itself spelled death normally. I don't know how.
There's no way we could find it.
If I lose by 1 Thursby,
Okay.
I'll never forgive you.
Number 4. What immense tree from Norse mythology gives its name to a cooperative game pitting several Norse gods against their enemies, as well as to the central province in Viking conquest game Blood Rage?
I definitely did
counts
not
on
spell
this.
it right.
I think we all have this one.
Yeah.
Yggdrasil.
Yggdrasil.
Nice. Yes.
That is one of those games that I'm really bummed out I didn't buy when I had the chance.
Yeah.
The death row is spelled like regular death.
Okay.
According to Thursby.
Okay.
And Google.
And Google.
Okay. I trust that more than Thursby.
All right.
All right.
For how much he played his vampires like that.
Yeah.
Hal Richman was inducted into the National Jewish Hall of Fame in 2011 in honor of his creation of what game? The game is marketed as, quote, the original fantasy sports game and was played on both Spike Lee's Crooklyn and TV's The Americans.
Oh, boy. I definitely have seen this in The Americans.
One more time.
Hal Richman was inducted into the National Jewish Sports Hall of Fame in 2011 in honor of his creation of what game? The game is marketed as, quote, the original fantasy sports game and was played on both Spike Lee's Crooklyn and TV's The Americans.
I know what game this is, but I have no idea what it's called. Let's see.
I think I have it. I think I have it here, though.
I definitely do not.
All right.
All right.
Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Okay. It is Stratomatic.
Oh, that's what it's
See,
called.
I had
yeah.
the rumbling football game.
Yeah, no, baseball highlights, which was something else.
I had
Yeah.
Chaos Ball, which I knew was not
nobody-
right.
Stratomatic.
Stratomatic. Yeah.
I remember that episode of The Americans, though.
I also have not seen The Americans, so
Heard it's good.
that's what I've heard.
It is very good. It's on Amazon.
Okay. This is one I will admit I've taken a couple clues out to make it a little bit harder. I'll tell you what the clues were after the thing, but I think you would get it immediately without that. The 2-word title of what game fills in the blanks in the following quote? Now the trumpet summons us again, not as a call to bear arms, though arms we need, not as a call to battle, though embattled we are, but as a call to bear the burden of a long blank. I'll read that again. The 2-word title of what game fills in the blanks in the following quote? Now the trumpet summons us again, not as a call to bear arms, though arms we need, not as a call to battle, though embattled we are, but a call to bear the burden of a long
Blank.
blank.
Blank. 2 blanks.
Yes, blank. Tell you what,
Uh-huh.
if none of you get it on the first try,
Uh-huh.
I'll give you one of the 2 clues.
Okay.
Well, I'm not getting it on the first
No,
try.
not good. Yeah.
Adrian's going to try.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm fine with me like getting a clue to guess, but not getting a point for it.
Okay.
So,
What's your guess, Adrian?
well, I mean, just out like,
Okay.
did you guess?
He's got something written down.
Okay.
I'm going to change it, though.
Okay. Change the way you want, and then I want to hear the clue, and then
Okay.
yeah. But if I get it right, then I don't want a point for it.
Okay.
So
Adrian is not right with his guess.
Okay.
So I will give you the clue that the quote is from John F. Kennedy. Does that help? I'll read the quote again. Now the trumpet summons us again, not as a call to bear arms, though arms we need, not as a call to battle, though embattled we are, but a call to bear the burden of a long. Yes,
Twilight
everyone,
struggle.
all
Twilight
three.
struggle.
Yeah.
Twilight struggle.
The other clue that I edited out was set during the Cold War.
okay.
I had Dark Knight for the
guess I
first
never-
one.
And then Black Orchestra. And then,
I guess
Black
I never,
Orchid, yeah.
I never realized that was what the name Twilight
Yeah,
Struggle
I
came
didn't
from.
either.
No.
Okay.
Even the
I'm sure
name
it's in the rule book.
Yeah, somewhere. Yeah. And you know what? You can give us a point or not give us a point. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Son of a bitch.
All right. Number 7. The American game Sorry, the British game Ludo, and the German game Mensch ärgere dich nicht, literally, don't get angry, man, among others, are variations of what 2-on-2 team game known as the Royal Game of India. You have heard of this. You may not recognize it for what it is, but you have heard of it.
I think it's that. We'll see. Do you see it?
I don't even have a clue.
I mean, I do, but the other game that sounds similar to that game is stuck in my head, and I can't think. Oh God.
Just having a crisis over here.
Yeah,
it's existential.
It's the word.
Well, GG, Zach.
I don't know.
Okay. The answer is Parcheesi.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, I didn't write that. Parcheesi.
That is where Parcheesi comes
He
from.
didn't write that.
He didn't. You're right. Sorry.
Dude, give him extra points.
I
He's already doubled our score. Jeff and I combined are barely beating Zach.
He's my favorite, so you know.
Yeah, fair. That's why
I get
gin
lunch
is
with
here.
him regularly because he works next to me.
Yeah.
So,
Fair.
I mean, he gave me all these answers before.
yeah.
Shit.
I'm just not getting them right to make it close for you guys.
You're like reading the table, like, oh, they all know it? Okay, I can know it too. Oh, they don't know it? It looks suspicious.
Yeah.
So I mentioned in that word, in that question, the British game Ludo is based on that. That is why it's a joke on that. That is why the British version of Clue is called Cluedo, because it's a joke on Ludo.
That makes sense now.
So speaking of that, when setting up a game of Clue/Cluedo, assuming you're playing the original version before a 2008 revamp added 3 new weapons, how many different combinations of murder suspect, weapon, and room are possible? I will give you 20 either way.
Okay.
The question itself asked for you to get the exact right number. You look confused, Adrian. Did I not? How many?
Giving us 20?
Yeah.
Is that
How many different combinations?
Different combinations.
Yes.
Yes. How many different combinations of suspect, weapon, and room are possible in Clue? In the original version of Clue, before a 2008 expansion of the number of weapons.
Boy, this one I can guess.
All right. Everybody got a guess?
Looks like Zach's still writing.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay. The answer is 324.
256.
216.
Nobody.
296.
Adrian
I almost got to the 20.
Yeah.
Adrian was super close.
So is there 8 of each?
There are 6 weapons, 6 suspects, and 9 rooms.
Damn it! I thought it was
9
6.
rooms.
I thought it was 777.
I did 666. So
That's evil, Zach.
Yeah. Well, it was wrong. So obviously.
This question is: identify the 1991 movie heard here or the 1957 film it is parodying.
Choose your game. But if you lose, you will stay here in hell forever.
Yep. I think that's it.
Miss. B3.
Miss. C6.
Hit. Dig. I know. J7.
Hit. A hit. You have sunk my battleship.
Excellent! Yeah! I totally knew you put it in the J's, dude. Good thinking.
You must play me again.
What?
Best 2 out of 3.
Do we all have an answer?
You might want to say the question again.
Yeah.
Yes way.
So the question again was: identify the 1991 movie heard here or the 1957 film it is parodying, and the answers are Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Yep.
Bogus Adventure.
I've actually never seen either one of them all the way through.
I put Bogus Adventure.
Bogus Journey, man.
Oh,
I said Excellent Adventure.
That's the first
That's
one.
the first one.
Yeah. And the film it is parodying is The Seventh Seal by Ingmar Bergman, wherein Death plays chess for the guy's soul.
Gotcha.
And instead,
I was just surprised. 1991?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem right. But I mean, it is, but it's.
Yeah. Okay.
And soon to be 2020.
Yeah, right?
Wait, they're redoing it?
They have already wrapped filming on the next
3.
one.
What?
Yep.
With Keanu and other guy.
Yeah.
All right.
And the last one, the question is at the end of the clip. Okay.
Brand new gaming experience. 8 to 12 players. 2 wizards, a maverick, the arbiter, 2 warriors, a corporal, and a ledgerman. Now, the ledgerman just keeps score, and he wears this hat. Now, the object is to accumulate or wins, but in order to get it, you have to build a civilization. The other amazing thing is the challenge play. Actually, let me tell you more about the trivia cards, because you're going to know about roadblocks first. No, never mind. The thing about challenge play is that it's basically the game in reverse. Then you roll 3 dice to see how many dice you roll with. Oh, 16. Perfect. Lots of choices. Okay, each turn goes roll, buy, action. I mean, obviously, this would be much taller in the real game. But the corporal can veto. This should be green, too. How did this happen? Are the a metaphor? Well, yes and no.
What is this called again?
So what is the name of that fictional game?
I think we all know this one.
Yes.
Cones of
Cones
Dunshire.
of
Dunshire.
Well done.
Well, like I said, 4 questions in. GG, Zach.
So I believe the final score was 3-3 to 6.
Huzzah.
Huzzah.
So Jeff and I matched Zach.
Yeah.
Woo.
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 There were some other really interesting ones, but maybe another time, or maybe I'll add them to the Slack channel. How about that?
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Get people on our Slack channel.
Yeah.
Where all the real hot action is.
Yeah.
Cold news portion this week, but I thought it was the most interesting for us to talk about in our light news week, which is Spiel is adding a new category to their yearly awards system, which is very relevant to us because it is a reviewer and media award.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Another
Yeah.
thing that we can be the last on.
We will win by default.
Does this one also eliminate previous winners? Because if they don't, I have some bad news.
Oh, yeah, we're never... Spiel will never... ever give us anything.
No, in this one they don't have like the 3 nominees and then show from
No.
there. It's just they choose somebody.
Yep. I assume this will be a real hard jerkin award for the first couple years. It's just going to be like, and the Dice Tower is the first award winner, and the second one
Watch
is
it played.
Yeah, and it's going to be like all of these people
rolling dice and taking names.
It's going to be the like the Oscars. It's like they should have deserved it by now. Let's just give it to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like William Dafoe.
Yes.
You better fucking get one this year.
I know, right? Jesus Christ.
Lighthouse was real good.
Oh, so good.
He was very good in The Lighthouse.
He was really good in
Is
Lighthouse.
probably a better way to say that.
Well, Lighthouse was also real good, but
Yes. But not everyone would agree on that.
oh, that's 100% right.
But William Dafoe was great.
Oh, he was amazing.
That was the second part of our news. William
Yeah.
Dafoe was great.
yeah.
Yeah, but new Spiel award for reviewers. Like it was worded weird because it was like for the like best reviewer or like group of reviewers. So it's not like quite media, but it might be just reviewers.
All podcasters. Like, remember that time in 2006 when we all won Times Person of the Year as you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Podcasters win.
Fucking
But now I can't win it again.
Yep.
I already won
Damn
it
it.
once.
fucking time. God, that was such a cop out.
Computers, I think won 1 year, or like the
Yeah.
internet or something.
Yeah.
I think
What is
by some
happening?
counts, I have won Times Person of the Year 3 times. I think it's like the protester is one. Like, I've been to a few protests.
Nice.
I forget what the third one was, but yeah.
So there you go. There's a one little bit of news to hold you over. Yeah.
And then there's no Kickstarters anyone's going to really worry about.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one looked kind of cool.
They'll be
but
here next week.
Yes,
They'll be
they
here
will.
next week.
Yep.
So yeah, because it's already been a while, and we're hemorrhaging viewers just constantly. So we'll wrap this bad boy up. Let's jump over
Not that
to
viewers
some...
matter for the podcast,
No,
but
I
it is
know.
long.
I know.
But I got a compliment on my sweater, so that's
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
really
it's a
counts
nice.
here.
I mean, we
It's a
talked
nice-
about it
yeah.
on air. In
Yeah.
fact,
So no more news and Kickstarters. We're going to keep moving right along. I'm going to stop being distracted.
Yeah.
So we are still going to do things like listener feedback, right?
yes.
Yes.
Starting with
emails at milehighgameguys.com.
There we go.
This one is from Hot Hands Luke.
Hot Hands, back again.
The time I managed to pull my own goddamn stunt on myself. Hey, 1603, 609, 344 millimeter. I guess that's 1,609,344 millimeter up sports dudes. Hot Hands here with a sweat dripping with the fury from my clenched fists. I thought I'd play to my wife the email reading from episode 166, which just came out today.
Should we tell him what that is, or just wait till the end? Okay.
I completely forgot. I have a Google Home system in the room I was in, and so as you read out, "Hey Google, play Nickelback," I managed to prank myself via my own prank on my friend. Well, doesn't life just kick you in the balls every now and then?
Yep.
Hot Hands Luke.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm so happy about this. So, to fill you in, Kyser, he had sent us an email a few weeks ago. Did you hear it on the episode?
No, I've missed a few.
So, a friend of his they were having like a group chat or something, and his friend was in his car, and he knew he had a Google system in there, so he was like,
he was saying
text to speech.
Yeah. Right.
That's right. Yeah. And so he texted him, "Hey Google,
play
Nickelback,"
and so it played it for his friend in
his car. But then we said it in the podcast, and it got him back.
He was regaled by Adrian's favorite Chad.
Chad Kroger.
That's it for emails at milehighgameguys.com.
Right on. Over on our Board Game Geek Guild number 2731, we have some listener feedback.
Yeah, this is on a listener-created subject on your stream of Le Havre.
Lee Harvey?
Yeah, Lee Harvey. I love that Adrian was worried.
Speaking of Kennedy.
Yeah, I love that Adrian was worried if he'd correctly pronounced Legrand Hameau. I don't know, whatever. And then last episode, while continuing to pronounce Lee Harvey, like he was talking about the Wrangler wearing dick pic text and something about Mary cameoing Hall of Fame quarterback from the Green Bay Packers. Because there's a guy named Lee Harvey from that.
No.
Oh, no.
Brett Favre.
Oh.
Brett Favre.
Yes. Favre. Oh, Favre. Duh. Okay. I looked it up and there was a footballer named Lee Harvey.
That's what the Americans call it, right?
It literally said in Google football, and then I just looked at it. I was like, oh, okay, that's what you're referencing. Gotcha.
No, Brett Favre.
Yeah, that makes sense now.
And that's a something about Mary joke on top of that.
Oh, yeah.
Because
something about Mary cameoing. Okay, that makes more sense. That was something about. Okay, no, this is making
they needed to put more quotes around.
This is making a lot more sense now.
Because he calls him Brett Favre.
Yeah, this is from Brian, by the way.
Okay,
yeah.
I did not realize it was actually Le Havre.
No.
This is literally the first time.
Oh,
because this guy's complaining that so many podcasts, Canadian and U.S., pronounce it like Le Havre or Le Harve.
Le Havre?
But it says Le Havre. Like, am I not reading that right? Like,
no, I think he's wrong. It's Le Havre. Well, Le Havre.
Le Havre.
No, Le Havre. But it's the V and the R are so on top of each other that it is, unless you're going to do Le Havre.
Well, and he's okay. Let me just go. Okay, this next one is from Jeff. Jeff from this is Canada. Jeff. Le Havre. Can't say how many podcasts, Canadian or U.S., I've heard pronounce it like Le Havre, so the R in front of the V.
Yes.
Or Le Havre. But Le Havre. Yeah. To be honest, my old
Le Havre.
Yeah. Le Havre.
Yes.
Le Havre.
That's how I've always.
Yes. He is happy that you are doing it the way you are.
Well, up here, while continuing to pronounce Le Havre, like he's talking about Brett Favre. Like I'd be putting Le Havre.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever said Le
I think
Havre.
Brian is wrong and Jeff is right in this situation.
Well, no. I think Brian's saying that Adrian was saying it
wrong
like
in the stream, and I don't think I've ever said it Le Havre.
Well, I didn't watch it, so I can't tell you.
No.
I don't know.
Well, anyway.
Yeah. We should ask Alex from France.
I do know it's Lave.
Love, yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, my oldest is in French immersion, so I ended up reading simple French books to her, and my wife corrects my pronunciation about every second word as well.
Well, that's nice, Jeff, but we have had
I think
Alex
I
from
think
France
Jeff
bitch
is right about how to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, but having his wife correct his pronunciation just emphasizes like how much Alex from France complains about Canadians pronouncing French.
Yeah.
You can watch a Le Havre 2-player playthrough with Adrian on Heavy Cardboard from November 13th, 2017.
Also, yes, that was a really good one.
3 hours and 7 minutes long.
Yeah, I'm glad our stream didn't take that long. But there's a teach in there, and things are different. So
You got your stupid hat on.
Yep.
Purple walls.
eat a dick.
There's purple walls there.
Not the walls that I'm telling you to eat a dick about. So that's everything from over on BGG for listener feedback.
Yeah.
No more listener feedback. If you want to get a hold of us, there are a few different ways you can do so. You can always send us an email.
Emails at milehighgameguys.com.
You can find us over on Twitter, where I tweet under @MHGameGuys.
And I am Zach_MHGG.
Jeff_MHGG.
You don't have a Twitter, do you, Kyser?
I am getting off of all social media at the moment, so
Yeah.
no. That's why I've been barely responsive on Slack even.
Gotcha.
So,
Slack
yeah.
isn't social media.
Yeah, it's. I'm still on there a little bit, but I'm only when somebody pings me or like I'm real bored. But I'm trying to be off of all social media, so
Gotcha.
no, nothing.
Ping Andrew in every message on Slack, please.
Oh, I shouldn't have said that. I will turn off my even those notifications.
Yeah,
if
Adrian,
I
what are
have
we
to.
doing today? At Andrew.
I already turned them off.
You can also catch us live streaming multiple times a week over on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/MHGameGuys. We do game streams on Fridays. We do these Wednesday episode behind the scenes live recordings on Sundays, and occasionally other daytime streams Monday, Tuesday, things like that. You can also follow us over on Facebook and Instagram, both /MileHighGameGuys. We have our website, milehighgameguys.com, where you can find show notes and links to the news and Kickstarter items we usually talk about on Wednesday episodes, as well as links to things like that BGG guild where we had that thread. That's guild number 2731, where you can start your own threads about my bad pronunciation of French board games.
Yep.
Or French named board games, because it's not really a French, it's a German designed named French board game, because
Yes.
yay, board games. But yeah, all kinds of things to participate in over there on the BGG Guild, and Zach keeps the schedule updated there as to when we are doing those streams on that aforementioned Twitch channel. Our website also has a link to our Slack channel, which Andrew has recently informed us he's not checking up on, and Jeff has disabled @Jeff notifications, so we can't spam @Jeff even.
Well, it doesn't come up on the badge. It will come up in the Slack, but the badge will not attract me to the Slack.
What will
Slacker.
attract you to
Boredom.
the Slack?
Boredom will attract me.
See, this is why you get like 200
Yeah.
message long chains, because
Yeah.
you're just not checking in often enough.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Maybe that's the goal, is to not be checking it all the time.
That's my goal.
Yeah. But lots of awesome stuff over on Slack, including all of our awesome friends who are seeing more things in chat about pronunciation. All of our awesome friends who hang out over there and chat with us about all kinds of random shit. So join the Slack. It's a lot of fun. And then additionally, if you want to support the show financially, you can do so in one of two ways. You can subscribe to us over on Twitch, either with your own personal monies, or if you're a Amazon Prime subscriber, you can use your one free per month Twitch Prime subscription to subscribe to us, which throws us $2.50 for that month.
But you do have to re-up it.
You have to re-up it each month, but it costs you nothing as long as you have Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Don't get Amazon Prime just to give us $250. There's far cheaper ways to give us $250.
No, just give us the $120 a year instead.
Yeah. Or the $15 something a month. We'll take that too. Either way. Additionally, you can also jump over to our Patreon, patreon.com/milehighgameguys, where you can check out the different tiers of support and see which one fits you and your budget. We definitely don't want anybody, breaking their bank to support our hobby, as fun as it may be. But, if you have an extra couple bucks to throw because we bring you joy with either the live streams or the podcast, we certainly appreciate it. It helps pay for new mics and cameras. We'll get an actual mic stand for our guests here because that helps with maintaining position and not having to use a screwdriver and an Allen wrench to get it to sit right in front of Andrew's face when he comes to join us.
Yeah. Especially when you don't know where the Allen wrench is.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know where the right size Allen wrench is.
He knows
I
where
know
a lot of
Allen wrenches are. I just don't know where the one I need was. But yeah, so plenty of ways to get in touch with us. Additionally, on Wednesday episodes, we always like to thank our sponsors, Gray Fox Games. Their latest game on Kickstarter, Reavers of Midgard, is arriving to backers now-ish, / over the last few weeks. So if you backed it on Kickstarter, you should be getting your copy, and you'll be hearing more and more about Reavers, I'm sure. So, be sure to check them out, grayfoxgames.com. Jeff, do you have a prepared statement?
Of course. Gray Fox Games. Quality games. Cleverly crafted. Also, there's nothing left inside me now. No hate. Not even regret.
There's still hate inside you, though, right, Jeff?
Oh, yes. That was not me.
Okay.
It's a bottomless well.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure. Right on. Well, I think that wraps everything up that we have here. Might do an impromptu stream sometime Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. For those of you watching on Twitch. For those of you listening on podcast, there might be something on Twitch you can go watch. I don't know. And then Friday, we will be doing a stream that we haven't fully decided on. So we'll announce that hopefully before you're listening to this on Wednesday. So jump to that BGG Guild and look at the calendar.
We do have ideas. It's not like we're just like, oh, we don't know yet because we don't know.
We're basically down to one or two things.
Yeah.
So we just got a couple decisions to make. And
we're basically down to like two or more things because if we were down to like one thing, then we just do that.
We basically have it down to two things.
Yeah.
We just need to pick one of the two.
Yes.
So keep an eye on that on the BGG Guild calendar for what we're going to be streaming on Friday, but there will be a stream, and then we'll be back on that Sunday with another podcast episode. So yeah, until then, I've been your host, Adrian.
I am still Zach.
And I'm fuck off, Hitler.
And thanks for joining us, Andrew.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
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 Punchboard Media, where we all
bring something
to the table.
pull up a chair
at punchboardmedia.com.